Hello, everyone. My name is Danielle, and in this section, we will give an overview of each of the four programs, and we'll give details about how each of these programs are distributed across California. Next slide, please. First, I will introduce the Ocean Guardian School program, which is funded through NOAA. Their mission is to propose and implement a school or community-based conservation project. Ocean Guardian School Programs focuses on environmental stewardship and aims to protect and conserve the ocean, local watersheds, and marine sanctuaries. California, Oregon, Washington, Texas, Florida, and Hawaii are the states that can receive up to $4,000 for the first 3 years of certification. Any United States school outside of these states are able to receive sponsorship through NOAA without funding, and for each of the schools that do apply, funding is granted based on the proposal project type. The school projects implement the 5 R's: refuse, reduce, reuse, recycle, and rot. Most project types are featured in the chart to the right. There are recycling programs on campus, single-use plastics and composting programs, planting native plants and gardening, participating in ocean cleanups, and involvement with the community and volunteering. The infographic to the right shows progress of student involvement. Overall, it shows 66% of students are involved in their community and educating their friends and family about ocean conservation. Students are motivated to make positive changes to improve the environment and the health of our oceans. I will now hand it over to Brody, who will introduce the next program.
Hello, my name is Brody, and this is Leadership, Energy, and Environmental Design. This is a sustainable building certification program for the United States Green Building Council. They award certifications if they meet or succeed a certain level of criteria for each building located on campus. They have a silver, gold, and platinum level. They use a point system. They've certified over 73 school buildings in the state of California since 2006. In the point system, it's breaking down into certain categories, as you see on the table below: sustainable sites, water efficiency, energy and atmosphere, materials and resources, indoor environmental quality, and then innovation. In innovation, they do mention using it as a teaching tool and implementing not only the building, but the practices and education to the students. For the next slide, I'd like to introduce Martha.
Thank you, Brody, for the introduction. My name is Marta Aro, and I will be talking a little bit about the Green Ribbon Schools. The Green Ribbon Schools is run by the U.S. Department of Education. Their mission is to inspire schools, districts, and institutions of higher education to strive for the 21st century in excellence by highlighting promising school sustainability practices and resources that all can employ. The award has been awarded 43 times from the year 2012 to 2020. The award was given every year to a small group of schools that progress in the pillars of the award. The first pillar is to reduce environmental impact and cost. Subcategories considered are energy, water and grounds, waste, and alternative transportation. The second pillar is to improve the health and wellness of students and staff. Subcategories considered are environmental health, nutrition, and fitness. The last pillar is to provide effective environmental and sustainability education. Subcategories considered are interdisciplinary learning, STEM content, knowledge, and skills, and civic knowledge. I would like to introduce Laura, who will introduce the next program.
Hello, I'm Lara, and this is the National Wildlife Federation Eco Schools. It's a wonderful program that has granted 42 awards, some of which are in progress from 2009 to 2020. The NWF's pathways and activities for the program aligns with some of the sustainable development goals in order to foster awareness, knowledge, participation, commitment, skills, actions, and creativity within students in pre-kindergarten to the 12th grade. One thing to point out is that this school's homepage One thing to point out is that the Earth Magnet School's homepage, their meetings, and their notifications are bilingual for their diverse community. And the 7-step framework, or 7 steps to success, is a roadmap that the schools can utilize to help them implement the Eco Schools program. By utilizing these 7 steps, students can accomplish objectives like being able to apply a systems thinking lens while building content knowledge and identifying areas to improve the environmental footprint of their school. And they'll be able to cultivate meaningful, lasting relationships with the community, such as with leaders from marginalized communities, nonprofit organizations, government agencies, local businesses, colleges, universities, and technical/trade schools. The Earth Magnet School has done a lot before, during, and after receiving an award. One of their gardens, the Native Plant Garden, provides a habitat for native wildlife and is used to increase student understanding about native plants and wildlife, while also allowing students to participate in environmental stewardship through installing and maintaining the garden. And next will be Allie.
Thank you, Laura, and everyone else for the background on the programs. I'm Allie. We collected similar data about the 4 programs based on a variety of criteria. Geographic distribution, as illustrated by the maps on our left, showcases the distribution of the programs across California. As we click through, we can see across all the program types, there is a heavy concentration in the LA region as well as the Bay Area. Paired with our geographic distribution chart on the right, we gain a better understanding of where the programs are located. We see that the programs on the right showing that it's in rural, urban, and urbanized settings. We also looked at the distribution across school types, and a main takeaway here is that most programs are overrepresenting private schools. California private schools make up about 7.4% on average of every school type. On the next slide, please. We also collected socio-demographic data across all the 4 programs. In the chart on the left, we assess the breakdown of student populations based on ethnicity. As you can see, we also included percentage per the entirety of California public school student population as a reference. So you can see where the disparities and the accuracies lie across the programs versus the average of California. The figure on the right shows the breakdown of student populations in the programs on the basis of socioeconomic disadvantage, English language learners, and students that are disabled. Across all program types, LEAD is the only program representative of the state demographics. For the most part, the other programs underrepresent groups, primarily of socioeconomic disadvantage demographics. Next up, we have CARE.
Thanks, Allie. So in addition to looking at how these programs are distributed across socio-demographic variables, we also looked at how these programs are participating in these projects and how they integrate sustainable systems and practices into their schoolwork. So as you can see by the chart pictured, more specialized programs focus on specific areas, like how NOAA specifically focuses on water, waste, and ecological health, and how the Green Ribbon Schools sets pillars for schools to focus on overall improvements. So you can see that they have much higher improvements in every single area. Next slide, please. So we also looked at how they practice pedagogy. As can be seen on the chart, the most pedagogical changes are seen in curriculum and community involvement in all programs. The community involvement aspects includes partnerships related to projects that focus in food and waste, like donating food from community gardens and participating in the local beach cleanups. All of the programs are designed to fit in and improve the curriculum. And now I'm going to pass it over to Adian.
Thanks, Care. My name is Adian, and so basically just to summarize our findings, we noticed that all 4 programs integrate green practices into the curriculum, and they see it as their top priority in terms of pedagogical practices. 90% of Green Ribbon schools integrate all sustainable practices into their programs. However, on the other side of the spectrum, we have NWF schools, and they're a little bit more lacking in the same department. Each sustainable practice sees less than 25% integration spread across their schools. This could be possibly due to the fact that NWF schools, they take one pathway at a time. So the overall spread is they're not all implementing sustainable practices at once. Each school kind of implements one at a time, therefore resulting in such a spread of percentages, basically. Another point that we wanted to bring up is that the combined socioeconomic disadvantage percentage of students spread across the 4 programs is 42%, with the overall statewide average being 63%. This shows us that green schools are not just available in higher income areas. However, despite 42% being a relatively high number, it still underrepresents all the socioeconomically disadvantaged students in California as a whole. Our last point that we wanted to mention is we also noticed that the percentage of American Indian, Alaskan Native, and Pacific Islander Native Hawaiian students make up a combined 2% of the students in green schools. However, this could just be due to the fact that the population of these races in California is also very, very low. And that about sums it up for our section. I'll now be passing on to section 3. However, if you have any questions, please feel free to ask them.